I'm Kamerie Gibson. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, the podcast. I believe that one of the most precious gifts you can share with someone is your story. Pain has purpose and stories can change lives. Your journey to become more inspired and transformed by the lives of those around us starts now. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming our pain into power. And today I have a special, beautiful, and extremely talented guest with me here today. Her name is Miss Olivia. Olivia, would you mind introducing yourself to the audience for us, please?
Yes, hello guys. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Kamerie, for having me. My name is Olivia Joy. I am a singer-songwriter from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just recently released my first single called Let Go.
Yes, congratulations on the release. I was just telling Olivia off the record how much I resonated with the message her song Let Go was illustrating it to all of us. It could be men, women. We've all been through, breakups, heartaches, relationships, and it's no easy thing to navigate, especially as a young person. So let go. What inspires you to make this song and to put it out?
So the inspiration for the song was really when I write based off of, my own experiences, what I see, really grab creativity from anything. And I also realized that something that's not really talked about enough is healing from the things that we go through. I feel like a lot of times we can talk about the problem, but how are we really getting through and making it through, whatever the issue is? So I kind of recognized a need there. And when I wrote the song originally, it, I will say that like I was telling you off the record, wrote the song back in 2020, didn't plan on doing anything with it. And then as the 2 years kind of went by, I started realizing how much the song really resonated with me, even though I was the person that wrote the song. But, a lot changed in 2 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
So just as I continued to experience life and the different phases that I went through within those 2 years, the song was just really, it kept ringing in my head. It kept hitting. And I was like, okay, I need to let you go. And outside of just relationship, I think it's a lot of things that we can let go of, and a lot of situations or just the things in our life that is no longer serving us. And so
Yeah.
I just kind of realized how that song continued to connect with me, and so that made me want to go ahead and do something with the song and put it out, because I'm like, well, if this can help me, it can definitely help others. And that's what I want to do, and I hope that that resonates with people.
To be your best. See, I was there when you were there when I cried. I fell in love and I thought it was nice, but why did it hurt so much most of the time? Never love, it was lust and it came with a price. You did things to me you thought I never knew, and I swear I pray one day that you tell the truth, but I will not sacrifice myself for you, so I'm gonna move on. You best move on too, but it's okay, cause I'm not bitter, not about to reconsider. In my bag and not on Twitter, cause I am a winner now. I need to let you go, cause you ain't worth my growth. Felt all that pain, now I'm my best. It's not personal, but you need to let me go. Heal from your pain to be your best.
Absolutely. It did with me, and I'm sure it will with others. I was looking at the comments, and women were like, yes, girl, we love this. We need this. And I love the emphasis on the healing part because, like you said, we talk about, oh, he hurt my feelings, he cheated on me, or he left me. But it's like, okay, what are we going to do now? Because we can't harp on this. And we don't want to, especially our generation. I feel like we're pushing the needle forward with healing and going beyond the problem. So how are we going to grow? So there's a line in the song where you say, I've felt all my pain, now I'm my best. And just that line specifically is like, man, you gotta feel the pain though. You can't drink it away. You can't smoke it away. You can't be promiscuous and have sex, with other people to kind of make it go away.
Mm,
you have to feel all of it and go through it. So talk
yeah.
to me about like how important that line and that method specifically was for you.
That line is definitely super important because it's translated for me in different ways just throughout my life. And something I do notice, kind of piggybacking off of what you said, is that we do have to sit and feel our pain in order to actually heal from it. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a misconception sometimes about healing, and healing can kind of be perceived as like, oh, well, if I no longer think about it, I've moved on and I'm healed. And it's
Right.
like, no,
Mm-hmm.
because the longer that you push those feelings away, the more they're going to continue to they're going to grow stronger for one, and then they're going to present themselves in different ways, and it's only going to impact you negatively. And so um, I want people to know that it's okay to feel,
Mm-hmm.
because we talk about, well, we're healing, and we're doing this and we're doing that, but it's like a part of healing is feeling. And as humans, sometimes we don't want to feel because it doesn't feel good. We
Mm-hmm.
have negative feelings. We don't always just have the positive, happy ones. Like everything
Mm-hmm.
isn't always just peaches and rainbows. So, and it can be hard to feel, those negative things, but the sooner you allow yourself to tap into those feelings, the sooner you acknowledge that there is something that's not serving you or something that you need to move on from, then the easier it'll be in the long run. And it's like it feels terrible at first, or during, but I definitely want people to know that it is okay to feel, and feeling is going to help you later. And it allows you to be emotionally connected with yourself, which is always, it's a great thing.
So from what we usually see maybe in media, maybe the woman may, I'm speaking about women because we're women. So I'm
Right.
speaking from that
Yes.
angle. So for
Hmm.
any men that's listening to this, that's just our take. But you see us maybe, breaking the windows in his car, stalking the
Hmm.
other girl, or like stalking him, bad mouthing him, going crazy. What about that route have you seen has not been successful in contributing to growth and healing?
That's a really good question.
I feel like
I
that's the route
think,
you should take, like,
yeah, yeah.
know?
I think it's easier to tap into our anger, definitely. And so when we allow ourselves to go there and do, and act off of emotion and what we're feeling in that moment, it's like it feels good, but there's probably some level of regret or
Mhm.
some level of like, dang, like I let this person take me out of my character.
Yep.
I allowed this person to bring me to a place that I don't want to be. Like, I don't like who I'm becoming or who I have become with this person. And so, I definitely think that um
Real.
we like, and we need ways to be able to release,
Hmm.
the things that we feel, our anger, all those things. But as much as it feels good, or it probably feels good to do things like that, it's like that's not the path that we should be
Hmm.
taking, And I
Yeah.
think allowing ourselves to tap into our feelings and learning how to um, respond instead of react
Hmm.
definitely goes into that as well.
I love that. Man. Okay, in the song you also were pretty much giving the guy advice. Like heal from your pain so you can be your best too. Like you weren't
Yeah.
even leaving the guy out of it. So where did that maturity and that growth come from in wishing the other person the best?
I think just throughout my life, I've kind of ran with that. I
Mm-hmm.
will say that my parents taught me from a young age to love and to lead with love. And a part of love is wishing love for other people. And so um, I think that just having that foundation of love and being able to learn how to forgive, even though it can be hard. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that healing and forgiveness are non-linear and they're continuous processes, that we have to continue to go through. But just being able to knowing that you can be the bigger person in that way. And, I would want someone to wish love on me. And I
Mm-hmm.
would want someone to wish the best for me. I wouldn't want someone to wish hatred and speak those things over my life. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to speak those things over other people's lives.
Yeah,
So,
I love that. That's beautiful
mhm,
that you mentioned your parents had trained you to like, lead with love and be love and give love because it's gonna come back to you, Whether someone broke your heart or whatever it might be, that's gonna what you put out is what you're gonna get back. So I
most
love that.
definitely.
We need that. We need more of that, man. It's so toxic out here in these streets. So thank you for sharing that for real.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the music video and your idea behind it. I saw you incorporated a bit of like story. You were out with your girlfriends, kind of hanging out, and you were out, I think, at the beach or the park. It was like a nature environment,
Oh,
and
yeah, that was a park.
I love that. It was like peaceful, relaxing, and then you also included some choreography. So tell me about how you ensembled the whole music video together.
So originally, after listening to the song, I kind of just got the ideas from listening to the song over and over again. And I wanted to show, I felt like it was important to show all aspects. You have like the choreo. Well, I grew up a dancer, so I had to add, dance in there. um, and that kind of gives it like a fun kind of vibe, and kind of like, grooving with the song kind of thing. And then you mentioned the park. So it was kind of like it was like a public park, but it was like a lake behind it. And so that scene was kind of just showing me and my happy element, like just being free, being
Mm-hmm.
whatever, doing whatever, and not having, kind of just being carefree.
Mm-hmm.
And then I definitely wanted to make sure that I showed the story element. I think the story is very important to show because you see the arguing, you see the happy times, and you see like the oh my gosh, what is going on? Like they're arguing now,
Right.
and then you see the okay, it's time to move.
Mm-hmm. It's time to
And
move.
so, yeah. And so then when you see me, like with my friends and um, him with his friend and then you see us and then you see that we see each other again and it's like that contemplation, like, am I gonna go back to that? Like I really want to go back to that. And you turn around, but it's like, gotta keep pushing,
Mm-hmm.
gotta keep moving forward. Like this is not only what's best for me, but it's what's best for you. Because if I'm not growing, then I'm not serving you either. And I think showing, the friends coming and I don't know if you saw that they kind of came and like, come on, girl.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helps to have people in your corner that can, advocate for you in that way and be able to help steer you and guide you when you do have those times of like second guessing or anything like that. So I felt like the whole visual in itself was just, like I said, it was just so important for me to show that. Um, because I feel like you can hear something, but sometimes when you can physically see it, it's like, okay, this can kind of be like a blueprint, or this can kind of be like a guide, for someone, because it definitely is for me too. So
Being able to watch your work and be like, wow, I really wrote
yeah,
that, I released that, and now if I
yeah,
come back into that situation, I know how to go about it. I have that blueprint, like
yeah.
you said, that guide. So I love
Hmm.
that. Very proud of
Yes.
you. I'm very proud that you're
Thank you so
working, you're putting your stuff out there. You're welcome. Like,
much.
never been easy, especially that, as an artist, you're being vulnerable, so
Oh
kudos to you.
yeah. Thank
But
you.
what lessons have you learned about love as a young woman?
I have learned that I think for one, I think I'm still learning about love every day. And I think love looks different almost every day, but it has the same core foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the one main thing that I would say that I've learned about love is that I'm able to love because God loves me. And if I didn't have God's love in me, I wouldn't know how to love. And so
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of just fullness from him, and I try to make sure that I tap into my relationship with him because he guides me in the aspect of love. I also think that love is a choice. Like it's a choice to continue to love through everything, within any relationship, any passion. Like it's a continuing to follow something and being consistent and sticking it through. Like that's a choice, and it starts off in love, definitely. But it's like when those trials and tribulations come up, and those hard times come up, it's like, okay. So I definitely think you have to continue to choose love every single day. And the main thing for me about love is just that to continue to allow God's love to pour through me, and hope that that translates, as I live my life and as I go throughout life.
I love that, Olivia. And, just to give the audience some context, so me and Olivia actually met last summer. We were both interns for HBCU in LA, which is a pipeline development program for HBCU students trying to get into the entertainment industry. So that means Olivia went to an HBCU and so did I. And we had the opportunity of being a part of the short film. It was called Drafted. Olivia was one of the main actresses, and I was the director. It was my first time directing. And I remember my first time meeting you, you were so sweet. You were so like attentive. You like clinged to every word I was saying. Like I felt like, wow, like she's really present in the moment. And I felt like that contributed to your talents as well. And it shined through on camera. She also got to represent my school TSU in the film. I'll make sure to put a clip of that. And man,
Yes.
like I just from that time of meeting you, I was just like, damn, that girl's gonna go places, and just whether it's entertainment, anywhere, just by like your character and your aura, I felt like it was so genuine and sincere. And you don't find a lot of people like that are in tune with themselves. So you sharing this stuff with me, it's all coming, together and starting to make sense for me. So just wanted to give the audience some
Thank you
context.
so much for saying that, because it's funny that you're saying that, because I feel the exact same way about you, Kamerie. Like your aura, meeting you, like for one, I feel like we naturally kind of connected and clicked when we met each other, and it was just so like it wasn't forced. It was just so like you're a vibe. You're a
Yeah,
whole vibe.
thank
And your
you.
your work ethic was like really inspiring. And it was great to be around you, and I was admiring you
Thank
throughout
you.
that process,
Thank
because
you.
you're the way
Totally
that
pick
you
up.
can. Oh wait, hold on, you're frozen. Oh, good. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. You froze for like a brief second. But yeah, I was just saying, like, the way that you command the room when you walk in. And that is just like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Especially for our women, like, that's huge. And I commend you, and I give you your flowers too, because you're the mom. So.
Thank you, girl. And I'm so glad we having this conversation, like I said, because we need to know that we have sisters that we can fall back on, we can lean on to, we can get advice from. Like just your whole perception of love right now, and I know you're younger than me, like man, like it's gonna serve you so well in relationships, and whoever the man is for you, he's gonna benefit tremendously from the work that you're putting into yourself right now, as a young woman. So God bless him, and you keep doing what you got to for real. But thank you, girl. So let's go back a little bit more. So let's talk about Olivia, where you're from, and what was it like in North Carolina, where you're from.
So I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to the illustrious North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, but I was raised in Charlotte, born in Baltimore, Maryland. So all my family's from up north, and we're like the only ones that are down here. But growing up in North Carolina, I'll definitely say, well, I can't speak on the whole North Carolina, but I can definitely speak on Charlotte. I love Charlotte. I love Charlotte. The Queen City is the Queen City for a reason. I will rep my city all day. And I definitely have a foundation here. And although, I do want to go out and experience different places and things like that, and probably won't want to live in Charlotte in the future, but just in terms of, work and career and
Mhm.
things like that. But no, I grew up in a very diverse environment, and at least of the area of Charlotte that I grew up in.
Mhm.
And I've had a lot of experiences here, and I've learned a lot of things here, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So Queen City, I've never been to North Carolina. I was supposed to go to Shaw. I don't know if that's in South or North. Shaw University. It's an HBCU.
Oh, I think that's in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
okay,
I don't
okay.
know.
So know either, but my father was like, Amy, Carolina, hell no. Like he's like the Confederate flag. He immediately
Mm,
thought you're not going there. So
mm,
for people who don't know about the Carolinas or like Charlotte, North Carolina specifically,
mhm.
what is Queen City? What is the culture like there? Is there opportunity for a woman who wants to pursue dreams as big as yours?
Um, I think that Charlotte does present a lot of opportunity. It's more and more as the years go by, it's turning into a business city. So it's definitely many opportunities to grow. I think it kind of just depends on what you want to do. Um, but I'm a firm believer in you can make anything happen anywhere you are. You know, you don't have to move to a certain place in order to make your dreams come true. You can start from where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, although I am looking to, experience different places and just, live in different places, um, I do think that Charlotte, like I said, just gave me a good foundation. And there's a lot of opportunities to meet people, to network with people, kind of like anywhere. You just have to look, you know? And so, like, I think it's easy to be like, oh, well, it's the Queen City and it's popping, blah, blah. And it is, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it's going to be what you make it. So if you come here and you have intentions of, meeting people, putting yourself out there, then that's what you're going to think of the city. But then if you come here and you have those intentions, but you're not necessarily doing something to push towards it, then you may think differently of the city. So I think
Mhm.
it kind of just depends on how you maneuver it, just like for any place, anywhere. Like I feel like you live in California.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so LA is a place of opportunity, and a lot of people talk about LA. And it's like, yes, it is a place of opportunity, but it's only going to be a place of opportunity if you make it a place of opportunity. And so
Exactly.
it goes the same way for Charlotte too.
Yep. I love that you said that because people think even with a big city like LA, like all of my
Mhm.
homies ain't out here thriving and moving stuff,
Yeah.
you know? Let's be real. We
Hmm.
live down the street
Yeah.
from the Hollywood sign, and a
Hmm.
lot of us aren't leaving the sections we grew up in because it's a mental thing. It's what you put in your mind that you can achieve, like you
Yeah.
said. So thank you for touching on that. You can be
Hmm.
successful no matter where you are. And don't let you being from a small town, a rural town stop you from, going after your dreams. So what was your childhood experience like growing up?
I okay, so you're asking some great questions. I love it. But yeah, so I grew up in a pretty big household. Well, big to me anyway. It was six of us.
Okay.
And grew up with my parents and my two sisters and my brother. And we were all pretty tight knit. We're a tight knit family, I'll say. I grew up going to church. So yeah, I grew up going to church, and I was able to. I mentioned growing up in a diverse area because I think that from the things that I've seen at a young age, it kind of helps shape the way that I see the world now, just like with anyone, with anything. And so I grew up seeing people from different backgrounds, different colors, different ethnicities, different everything, And so, and like I mentioned earlier, I grew up on a foundation of love. And so I think just as a child in um, being able to see and experience different things and to be able to be taught different ways of thinking. My dad has a very what do you call it? He thinks in his perspective, like he's able to zoom out and look at things from so many different perspectives.
Mm,
And being able to see him do that and watch him do that, it's like inspiring in a way because he doesn't only allow himself to think about something the way that he thinks about something, and it's almost like it gives room for uh the ability to be understanding towards other people, towards other situations, towards anything. And so just being able to see that level of perspective and that level of understanding definitely helped me as a child as well. And I think continues to help me as I grow into the woman that I'm becoming.
Well, go daddy, man. It's
Yeah,
definitely, man, it's nothing like a young princess, a young queen having a man to like
yeah,
give her that alternate way of looking at things and not just, one way, like most
yeah,
women think. So God bless
yeah.
daddies, man. Go daddy.
He
But
refers to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I remember this one thing that he always used to tell me anytime I would get myself into trouble. He would
Mhm.
always be like, "Okay, there's a good, better, best way of going about things." He's like, "You can go about it the good way, but there's always gonna be a better way to go about it. But then what's the best way?" And
Mm,
so I remember this one time what it, I forgot what the situation was, but I was young and I did something stupid. And he was like, "Okay, well, you handled it the better way, but what was the best way?" And it's like he wasn't mad at me for what I did. It was just like you, even though there have been times, trust and believe, but he was just like, "Okay, well, there's a best way to go about that. So let me tell you this, even though I know that you're seeing it from this standpoint, let me help you see it from this standpoint, and maybe it'll help you understand what you could have done better, or if we're speaking in terms of understanding people, let me help you see it from their perspective, even if their perspective isn't necessarily right or my perspective isn't necessarily right. It's just like being able to have those different perspectives and to understand things from different viewpoints. It definitely helps to keep that um, just level of understanding, I would say, overall, definitely.
no, yes, girl. Thank you for sharing that. It's making me think about my
Hmm.
daddy too. And like, man, like I'm just so grateful. Like it's nothing
Yeah,
like having him. But I love
definitely.
that. You said it's a good, better, and best
Good,
way to
better,
go about
best.
it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, so did you always know you wanted to be an entertainer? Actress, singer, dancer. Did you always know this?
I always knew that I wanted to be a entertainer performer, definitely from a young age. I grew up dancing. I took dance classes at 8, and then I danced my whole life since then. But in terms of singing, I didn't always know that
Mhm.
singing was going to be what I was called to,
Wow.
because singing for me is a calling. It's
Mm,
something that I do love to do it, don't get me wrong. But it's definitely something that I'm falling more in love with every day as I go and I walk in this.
that's-
Um, I wrote poetry at a young age. So I always like to, that was kind of just like the way that I express myself, like dancing. I've loved art my whole entire life, all different forms of art, because I think art is so expressive and it allows you to say something without actually having to say it.
mm,
And I think that that's really powerful. So, dancing, just in the body movements and the way that you can tell a story through using your body and dancing and just the whole art form was like one form of self-expression for me. And then writing poetry was a whole nother one, because now I'm using words. Now I'm putting words and I'm matching words with the things that I'm feeling and the things that I'm experiencing and the things that I see. And so that was kind of how I translated life, my whole life, through writing.
mhm.
Um, and so it's kind of funny to see that. It's funny that you asked me this question, because it's just funny to see that come full circle for me. And just being able to, okay, now it's like God has called me to this, God has called me to music. And um, being able to write, use that, that poetry background that I have. And then while also incorporating dance, incorporating acting. Oh, and speaking of HBCUNLA, just have to touch on this. For
Yes.
one, amazing organization.
Yes.
Two, HBCUNLA was when I knew I love acting. Like I took literally one acting class before going out there and filming that short film. One acting class. And when we were there, I loved the entire process. I loved being in rehearsals. I loved being on set. I loved all of it. I was like, yes, this is it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm focusing on acting. That was my focus for a while. I was like, yes, this is what we're focusing in on. And then God had other plans for me right now, anyway.
Yeah.
Right now, anyway. Yeah, definitely. And I kept getting songs, lyrics that kept popping into my head, and melodies that kept popping into my head. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. And so it's like, although, yes, right now, um, I am an area where I am highly locked in to music, and I'm very focused on music, and I'm growing a profound passion for it as I continue to work in it every day. Um, I love the fact that I can incorporate the other, because I love, like, art for me in general is a passion. And so I love the fact that I can include, the acting, and that's the story, the storytelling, visual aspect of it, the dancing, because dance was my first love,
Mm-hmm.
um, and all these other things. And then just being able to have a message through writing is really powerful, I think, for me as well. And I'm learning to allow my gifts and use my gifts. Like, the gifts that God gave me are not for me. They're
Mm-hmm.
not for me. They're for other people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what makes it a gift. And I
Yeah.
think I would be robbing um, the world, and I wouldn't be contributing in the way that God has called me to contribute if I didn't use all the gifts that He gave me to do what He's called me to
This is really good. This is really good.
do.
Really good because you are putting all your gifts into, like, I guess one thing, but you're like, it's like
Yeah,
you're just pulling things that were already inside of you and giving it
yeah,
to, like I said this morning, like I was playing that song over and over and I'm like, I wasn't, the pain was for no reason. Like, it
yeah,
got me to be the woman I am today. Like, it's
yeah,
okay, Kamerie. Like, just off of you going in the studio, putting the effort into that music video, you're able to
mhm,
give that and, like, transcend beyond your own pain and help other
yeah,
people, So, man, it
yeah,
is a gift. Thank you for
yeah.
framing it that way.
Mhm.
Um, what, um, what has, what has been the most difficult in becoming Olivia? What has been the most challenging?
The most challenging thing for me is, it's a good question. Okay, well, I'll speak from a in terms of a music standpoint, and like I said, just being called to music. I think from that standpoint, and kind of how I can come together is just being able to continue to know that, I am worthy because God told me that I'm worthy. And I don't need external validation, because the only validation that I need is from God. But, I'm a human, so I have feelings, I got emotions, I experience all the things that humans feel. So it's like, I think naturally in our human nature, we want to seek things from people, and we need human connection. That's what we were put here for. We weren't put here to
Mhm,
be alone and to be by ourselves.
mhm,
Um, but I think when it comes to using this gift of mine that God has given me, and being able to walk in my purpose every day, it can get difficult sometimes. Like,
mhm.
being completely transparent, it can be difficult just continuing to show up. But Rihanna said once, like, when you don't feel fearless, pretend.
Love that.
Pretend.
Love
Because, but I think that is so powerful, because it creates this in your subconscious that tells you, even though I don't feel this way today, even though I don't feel like doing this today, if I just go and I do it anyway, it's for one, building that resilience within me, and then it's also me telling myself like, you can do this. You're worthy of this. This is what you're supposed to do now. Now go do it. Go do it. And so just being able to continuing to tap into that and show up every day. It's not the showing up part that's difficult. It's just the, all the thoughts that come when you do have to show up. And
Yeah.
I think we are our biggest critics.
Yeah.
And so just not allowing, um, my mind to take control in that way. And when I do ever feel doubts or anything like that, I can pray about it, and then I can get peace. And then when I go, I'm proud that I went anyway. So
You're proud. I love that.
yeah.
And what do you hope to accomplish before you leave this earth? What do you absolutely have to get done before you leave?
I have to I have to I have to fulfill my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and that's a very vague answer, but I think anyway, I think that purpose for me isn't a destination; it's a
Mm-hmm.
journey, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that I continue to walk in every day and continue to fulfill every day. And I think as long as I am still here, I'm not done, and there's something else that I'm supposed to do. And so um, that is what I want to do. Like when I leave the earth, I want to leave a an impact, hopefully. Even if I always said, like, when I first started making like YouTube videos, I would tell my little sister, I was like, she was like the only person that was like watching my videos for a while. And so, and
Loyalty.
she was like, Libby, why do you keep making like videos and no one's really looking at them? And I was like, well, because you watch them. And it's not about the numbers for me. It's about impacting. And even if that impact is on one person, two people, 500 people, 5 million people, it's about the impact.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that allows me to continue to keep going definitely every day, knowing that there's someone who needs what I have to offer, and I need it. It's helping me too. And
Yeah.
so impact is definitely something that just in a general sense, and whatever way that looks like for me, because I know that, just as I go throughout life, I'm going to be led in different directions, and I'm going to be doing different things. And so whatever I do and anything that I do, I hope before I leave this earth that I can have an impact on someone. It doesn't have to be millions. It doesn't have to be five. It could be one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
General. But
Yeah.
I think that for me, like that's a part of my assignment, and that's why I'm here. And so that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, this is good, girl. You threw me off. I didn't know it was gonna be this deep this early. Oh,
Yes.
ooh, you getting my day ready, though. You got me thinking. You got me thinking. And as a big sister or as a sister, I completely, even with my podcast, I'm like,
Mm,
humble beginnings, don't despise them. My baby sister, she's 9 years old, Kobe, my little
mm,
Kobe. She looks up to me so much, and she's like, Kim,
mm.
I watch all your videos, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, like you said, that means something.
Yeah, it
Somebody is
does.
watching you, and if I do
Mhm.
leave, they will always know how your sister, their sisters were, how they thought, what their
Yeah.
passions were. They'll never forget
Yeah.
that. They'll never forget
I'll
us.
never forget it.
So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
What would you tell the younger you?
I would tell the younger me that that it's okay. That just honestly that it is okay. Like you are okay. You are gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that's just the main thing I would tell the younger me, for so many different reasons. But
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the things that we go through at a young age shape who we become as adults and how we maneuver through life, and
Mm-hmm.
how we perceive life and perceive different experiences and people. And so, yeah, just that you're gonna be okay. It's okay. You're
So
gonna make it through
yeah,
this like you do any other time. You're gonna do
yeah.
it.
Girl,
Hmm.
especially we were talking about breakups and men and oh
Yeah.
my, I used to think I wanted to die, you know. I wanted to, Lord, just take me now. I can't deal with this pain. But it's like, girl,
Um,
get it together. You was not gonna
yeah.
die off of this man or off of this, small because you got an
Hmm.
F for something so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, chill out. It's gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay, last question for you. You're doing so well, so
Oh, thank you
spiritual,
so
so deep.
much.
Feel like I'm on Oprah right now. It's real deep. So, what does Olivia hope to see more of in the world? What are you yearning to see more of in the world that you're not seeing right now?
I yearn to see um, understanding, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding of people, lifestyles, anything. And I think that just because someone does something a way that's different than you doesn't mean that their way is necessarily wrong. Doesn't mean that their way is necessarily what works for people works for people. Like I'm a huge and that I'm saying that very generally. Um, but just understanding in the way that we judge one another a lot. You know, it's in our human nature to judge. We look, we see, uh, we have eyes, we have wants, we have needs, and so there's a lot of judgment. But when I say understanding, I mean that understanding uh, helps. Like when you're able to understand someone and understand, you don't have to agree, don't have to
Mm-hmm.
agree, but when you're able to understand the background of something or understand the level of thinking, the psychological things, the emotional things about people and about a specific situation, whatever it is, it helps to prevent that judgment because you do have that level of understanding. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not to say that we're not going to judge because we're people, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what people do. But just being able to see a level of understanding come from just whatever and understanding that we're all humans and we're all going to make mistakes and we're all going to make choices that are not good, that are not bad, that are not whatever. Like we're all humans at the end of the day. And we were created equally, I believe, in God's image. So yeah, definitely understanding.